Hello and welcome to the How Not to Screw Up Your Kids bucket emptying episodes. I'm your host, Dr. Mary Han, psychologist, parenting expert, and author of the How Not to Screw Up Your Kids, a real life guide to parenting book. I had a bit of a moment then when I wasn't quite sure what I was saying, but I got there in the end. I'm sharing a hack with you in terms of emptying your bucket, and it actually is probably one of the nicest, most gorgeous, yummiest hacks, which I also share with your children in terms of, I think it's something that our children should be doing as well. But we're talking specifically about emptying your bucket, but please feel free to also introduce this to your children. And it's the practice of gratitude. So let's just talk a little bit about gratitude from the perspective of emptying your bucket. And then I'll talk a little bit about the practice of gratitude in terms of emptying your child's bucket. So what's gratitude? So let's start with what gratitude isn't. It isn't a list of positive things that have happened during the day. It absolutely isn't. It's much more to do with things that we are grateful for, things that we recognise have been the small things. They're small, they're not big things. They're the small things that have lifted our mood, made us feel slightly lighter in our step, a bit more joyous, a bit more happy, a bit more content, a bit more loved, bit more connected. What we know when we talk about gratitude is that it's significantly linked to positive mental health, because what it does is it focuses the lens on which we reflect on our day from a perspective of, let me scan my day and look at my day for things that I can be grateful for, rather than scanning my day and looking for things that haven't gone well, that I've struggled with and that I'm going to sort of sleep on, I'm going to ruminate on through the night. So gratitude is a practice that I think is really important for us to be doing at the end of the day. I do think it's a great, the research evidence in terms of the positive impact that a practice of gratitude has. To get the true effect from it, we need to write it down. Verbalizing it has a positive effect, but it doesn't have a significantly positive effect as it does to writing it. And that's just like kind of scientific psychology speak for just saying that it being significantly different means that it isn't due to chance, it's due to what you're actually doing. Whereas verbalizing it is no more than chance. So if you have the Shine Planner, there is a section within there. It is part of your reflective piece at the end. There's a section to put things that you're grateful for, or you can use a notebook. I do believe we even have a gratitude journal on Amazon, just a gratitude notebook. So you can put it on there. And my advice is that it's something that you do at the end of the day, so that you're able to literally scan through your day and write down 3 things that you are grateful for. And you can either do it in a notepad, or you might do it in one of those sort of glass jars, like the pickle jars that has got that sort of metal sort of clip that you have. And then you might write them on different coloured pieces of paper. And what's beautiful about doing it that way, and it's a really beautiful visual, which I think also adds another layer of gratitude, is that you then see how that builds up, and you can see that it's like your gratitude's overflowing. It also means that if you're having a particularly difficult day, you can just randomly dip and pull something out, and it's a reminder of something that you were grateful for maybe a day ago or a week ago. So that can be a great way of doing it. And the reason why it's such an important thing is that quite often what we tend to do is, when we're looking at our day, at the end and the close of our day, we tend to reflect back on our day, and we're almost like slightly cognitively primed, particularly when we're having difficult situation or life is a bit difficult. We're having challenges with our children, challenges with work, our partner, our friendship, whatever that might be. Is that we tend to have a bit of a cognitive, this confirmation bias, is we tend to scan the day and look for things that affirm and confirm the lens on which we look at our life, that life is difficult, that we're having difficulty challenges with our partner or our friends or whatever that might be. And so the process of having a practice of gratitude allows us to reframe that and ask us to look at our day from a different lens, and really to focus. And it's like any kind of muscle, it's in our brain, and when we're looking at gratitude as a muscle that needs exercising, the more we exercise it, the stronger it becomes. So of course, when we first do it, and when I'm working with a family and I'm working with a child or a teen, it's the first thing that I ask them at every single session is asking them to talk through 6 things since our last session that they're grateful for. And some find it more difficult than others, and some struggle for longer, but it's incredible how I see the changes. Maybe that I'm working with a child every week, or I might be working with a child every couple of weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, but you see that they become more skilled, more able to scan through their day and really reflect back on that. And the key crucial thing to remember from our perspective, because obviously children are much more likely to do what they see than what we say, is we have to model gratitude first before we start encouraging our children to do the same, is that we're looking for the really small things. It is the tiniest of things that make a difference. So if I'm going to put myself on the spot and I'm going to think about what I'm grateful for today. So today, I'm recording this, it is 10 to 6. I'm grateful for the fact that I had a really delicious lunch that I was able to just eat and not worry about having to prepare. I am grateful for the support of my incredible executive assistant, Heidi, who has been with me today and kind of encouraging me. We've had a really long day of filming, so I'm really grateful for her. And I'm grateful that fundamentally I get to do, and today I've got to do some of the stuff that I love the most, which is recording videos, talking about things that I feel incredibly passionate about. So these are not massive things, but they're just small things that I'm grateful for. And when I look at it tomorrow, it'll be different, but it's different each day. But it really helps us to kind of reframe that. And of course, whilst we're thinking about things that we're grateful for, and we're writing and we're documenting and we're chronicling it, what that does is, I don't know whether you noticed it even as I was talking about them, my face will just lights up. My energy is different. The physical sensations I have in my body is that kind of joy, that glow, that energy, that happy feeling. What we know is that our brain doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's imagined. So if we can put ourselves in that state of being joyous and focusing in on the things that give us those small wins and that happiness, then it places us in the right frame of mind as we then are ending and closing our day and we're about to go to sleep. And so I think you have to start, the whole oxygen mask with this particular one is you have to start with your own practice of gratitude before you then start to encourage your children to do it. And writing it down is absolutely crucial. And if you've got really young children, it's not about spelling, they can draw it, but it's about really connecting with what are the small things during the day that they're really grateful for, and then being able to reflect back on those. So it's something that I would encourage you to start doing, and just notice what impact that has on you. I hope that you kind of will take on the challenge. You'll take on the gratitude challenge for 1 week. So I hope you found that helpful and enlightening and joyful, that the episode was really helpful for you. And we have got a template for this that we'll be sharing. So you head over to drmaryhan.com/library, where you will find, you'll need to just pop in your email address and you'll get instant access to the gratitude template for you to try, as well as all the other free resources across all the other podcast episodes. As ever, if you have enjoyed this episode, I would love it if you could rate, review and follow this podcast so that others can find us and we can spread the love. So until next time.